of the gay rights movement started at a bar called Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village, New York, on Charles Street. One man lives to tell his story.
So I was sitting at this bar called the Stonewall when the police came in to get their usual payoff. Some men in suits and ties walked around a bit. Then, whispers went around that the place was being raided. Suddenly, the lights were turned up and the doors were sealed. And all the patrons inside were held captive, not knowing if they were going to get arrested or what was going to happen. Everybody was anxious. But as people were released, they stayed outside. They waited for their friends to come out. They didn't run away. People who were walking up and down Christopher Street also assembled, and the crowd in front of the Stonewall grew and grew. And so did the tension. To be there was beautiful. It was so exciting. I said, great, now it's my time. I'm out there being a revolutionary for everyone else, and now it's my time to do my thing for my own people. The police thought they could come in and say, get out! And that nothing was going to happen? Uniformed police started to arrive, chasing people around and hitting them with their billy clubs. But one way or another, gay people stood up and they rebelled. I got knocked around a bit. Saw other people being hurt by the police. There was this one drag queen. I don't know what she said, but they beat her to a bloody pulp. I saw a couple of dykes being taken down and thrown into the back of a car. It was senseless and inhumane. They called us animals. And at that time, we were the lowest scum of the earth. "40 years later, and you still see people like Missy and Irma, Brandon and Chris, Michelle and Sabina, walking hand in hand down the streets of New York, Boston, Albuquerque, Toledo, and El Paso, without restrictions, condemnations, compromises, or closets, but with the freedom to love. You know, the truth will set you free, but before it does, it's going to piss you off." 40 years later, and there's an estimated 30 million people who identify with being gay in the United States. And of those 30 million people, they are denied 1,138 rights and benefits because of one marriage certificate. 40 years later, and hate has driven the bloody murders of Gwen Araujo, Brandon Tina, Matthew Shepard, Harvey Milk, Lawrence King, and many more of our queer brothers and sisters. 40 years later, and our government will send our gay troops to go fight and die for our freedom, yet they can't receive that same freedom right back here at home. 40 years later, and they would rather a child go from foster home to foster home to foster home, instead of allowing one loving gay couple to adopt. 40 years later, and a straight couple won't get kicked out of a restaurant for a kiss, but a gay couple sure will, even at a damn Chico's Tacos. 40 years later, and they are still trying to deny us our rights as first-class citizens because they insist that we destroy the marriage, when 50% of all straight marriages end in divorce. And because some people insist on preaching that we are deviants and that we choose this lifestyle, being gay is not a lifestyle. Disco was a lifestyle. Being gay is about our lives, our right to love. If I never had sex with a man again, I would still be a gay man. I mean, I wouldn't be a very happy gay man. But I would still be a gay man. You know, if homosexuality is a disease, let's all call it queer to work. Hello? Yeah, I can't come in today. I'm still queer. Hey girl, hey! 40 years later, and they are still trying to silence us. But I encourage you to use your voices. This is the reason why we hold these colors so proudly. Silence equals death. Break that silence. My name is Maurice Andre San-Chez, and I'm here to recruit you.